Hey, my name is Brennan DeWin. This is my third lecture slash presentation for the medical physiology or the physiology class at UNE. It's PHSL 1010. This one is on hormonal control of implantation in early embryonic development. I've done two more, one a month ago. That one was on receptors, and then this last one I did today prior to this one was on the digestive system as well, specifically the pancreas and liver. So check those out if you want to as well. But we're going to get into this one. This one again is on hormonal control of implantation and early embryonic development. We'll go over hormones, we'll go over the process, and I hope you guys enjoy the presentation. But again, here's this form for you, a sec here, but then we'll get into it. All right, so to start, I kind of want to just list the hormones involved in the process, as these are what we are going to kind of emphasize throughout this lecture here today. But hormones are critical in the implantation of a blastocyte and the development of an embryo, so they are very important, and then we'll see more of how and why they are important throughout this this presentation slash lecture. But the four hormones that are very prominent in this process are progesterone, estrogen, HCG, and HCS. But the process does start when a sperm fertilizes an egg to ovulation. The zygote travels to the fallopian tubes to the uterus, from the fallopian tubes to the uterus, and that right there is helped out, or that process is helped out by a hormone that we'll talk about pretty soon here again. And then when the zygote reaches the uterus, it becomes a blastocyte that consists of an inner and outer layer, which again we'll get more into blastocyte actually on the next slide. But I did want to add in the diagram to your right here. That kind of shows the fertilization of an egg and a sperm going through the egg, and then the cells of the corona radiata too, as they split and the sperm is going to get to the egg. And then here is more of the process I was talking about above, but on average this process does take 7 days, and the eggs obviously start and are produced in the ovary. Ovulation occurs in day 1 though. That's when the sperm meets egg and the egg is fertilized, and this is where it becomes a zygote as it starts the process of becoming an embryo. Is in process 1 or step 1, day 1 right there. In day 2, or also in day 1 is here fertilization of the egg, so the ovulation releases the egg right here into the fertilization, so that is day 1. Then you have the zygote right here as well. Then in day 2 through 4 right here, cell division takes place, which in this case is mitosis, and the zygote makes its way down the fallopian tube. Like I said in the prior slide, with the help of progesterone, and we'll go further in depth in progesterone too, because it's a very prominent hormone that we need to talk about when talking about early embryonic development as well. But as you can see, the egg, or at this point the zygote, continues down the fallopian tube. Then on days 4 through 5, the blastocyte reaches the uterus. The zygote turns into a blastocyte as it reaches the uterus, and early embryo consists of, or blastocyte consists of about 100 cells. So here's that inner layer, and then like I said, the outer layer as well, and then the uterus, and then the blastocytes right here as it implants on days 5 through 9. The implantation obviously occurs there. But like I said, on average, this process does take 7 days, as the blastocyte can implant as early as 5 and take as long as 9. All right, now we'll get into the 4 hormones that I wanted to look into further here. This one's obviously progesterone. It maintains a healthy endometrium, which is the wall of the uterus. In the second half of the menstruation cycle and during pregnancy as well, progesterone stimulates blood muscle growth. It also stimulates secretion of nutrients in glands and prevents the development of additional follicles as well. And without the zygote, or without progesterone, the zygote will have trouble going from the fallopian tubes or moving throughout the fallopian tubes to the uterus, and insufficient blood vessel development and insufficient nutrient secretion to the embryo will be present as well if progesterone wasn't or hormone used in early embryonic development. And a decrease in progesterone can actually result in loss of embryo development as well. So progesterone obviously is a very important hormone when looking at early embryonic development here. The next one is estrogen, which prevents development of additional follicles as well as progesterone, as we see here. And then it also aids in the development of milk-secreting glands in the breast as well for females. Estrogen is a sex hormone as well that is necessary to maintain your sexual and reproductive health. It's an important role in the prevention of new follicle development during gestation and development of milk-secreting glands in women's breasts, like I did state already as well. Then we have HCG here. HCG is a peptide hormone, as well as HCS. They're both peptide hormones. And HCG is secreted by the placenta and chorionic villi as well. And it keeps the corpus luteum active as well. There's a little timeline to the HCG as well. In the 7th week, placenta secretes HCG and the corpus luteum disintegrates. And then secretion peaks at 3 months as well. And as blastocytes implant, placenta begins to form as well. And HCG does bind to LH receptors to continue the production of progesterone while continuing to keep the endometrium together, which is the endometrium being kept together is very, very important role here. All right, and then the final hormone that we're kind of going to talk about is HCS here as well, which is also a peptide hormone, like I just said, as HCG is also a peptide hormone as well. HCS is secreted by just the placenta and not the chorionic villi as well. HCS does alter the mother's glucose and fatty acid metabolism, but it does support fetal growth as well, and it does have connections to gestational diabetes, which is very important that we try to keep each baby healthy. So gestational diabetes are not what we really are looking for in pregnancies to keep that baby healthy as well. So gestational diabetes are similar to type 2 diabetes, as it is insulin resistant as well. But HCS does play a role in lactation, and it's very important in the metabolism of glucose and fatty acids as well. Then just some final thoughts here. I wanted to add a couple of these graphs from the textbooks. I thought they were very important to add here. I just wanted to note that like estrogen synthesis diminishes initially and then increases as we see here right before ovulation. And then you can see here right before ovulation as well. And then it decreases after ovulations too, before a minor increase after the corpus luteum is information as well. But then you have some other hormones here, because you have progesterone too, which is at an increased level after ovulation. So there's just differences between estrogen and progesterone. As progesterone's high, ovulation or estrogen is kind of lower, where when estrogen is lower, progesterone is high, and at different parts of the ovarian cycle too. But I appreciate you guys all watching this lecture today on hormonal control of implantation and early embryonic development. There will be a it's just studied, but kind of like a quiz type to test our knowledge on this topic as well. But again, thank you guys for watching.